Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Jason, and you're watching the Tools Grounds channel. Just a real quick update of what's going on. I didn't do a video last week because there were no real sales going on. It's been kind of rainy here off and on, and so people trying to organize a sale and then it doesn't work out because they're get rained out or whatever. So and it's kind of the end of the real season. So most of the time during the slow season, there'll be a few estate sales here and there, but not really a whole lot to speak of. And so that's the time where I really dig in and start fixing stuff up that I have already that I get a little bit behind. And so some things coming up are I'm launching a tool sales website, hopefully November 1st. I'm getting that set up. I've been in the background really fixing up, stepping on the gas and really fixing up a lot of stuff that I do have. And I want to get it real set up real nice for like the holiday season. Don't know how well it'll do, but I can't, I've just been hemming and hawing and doing half-hearted tries to get this part of it going for the last couple of years. I'm not I'm not a good salesman. If anything, I feel like I maybe try and talk people out of stuff. I don't know. That being said, I can't do eBay or Etsy anymore. I'm just hearing too many horror stories about them. Like Etsy sort of freezing people's funds for a while, and people waiting until stuff's sent and then doing chargebacks, and Etsy not doing anything about it. And then of course eBay, kind of the same thing. People are just too eager to sort of try and scam people and get something that they don't either deserve or didn't work for, or I don't know what's going on with people these days, but nobody really seems to have any honor anymore. And I'm a straightforward guy. If I'm going to do this on my own, I don't need to pay somebody else for the privilege. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I already prepaid for the store for a year, so it's like I have to commit at this moment. But we'll see how it goes. I'd rather deal with people directly. I'm not to get I'd like to have a chance to fix it if that's makes sense. I'm someone that will really work with you, and I want everyone to feel good about what it is that they buy from me. And if I drop the ball, then, which does happen from time to time, we all do. Like but I'm not here to manage other people's expectations. So anyway, this week I have a few things I got at the Habitat for Humanity store. I got a couple things that I got at the local reclamation store. It's kind of like Habitat for Humanity. It's a nonprofit, but they do sell tools and building materials, which is kind of cool. And I do a lot of business with them, and they've always treated me right. I got a few things from there. They're called the Restore. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. And then, I'll probably cover the stuff that I got, or the stuff that I fixed up first. It's not everything that I fixed up over the last couple of weeks. It's just a few things. Some of the things that you've seen in previous videos. And some of the stuff you've never seen before, and some of the stuff is just, anyway, it is what it is, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I'll go into those descriptions, and I'm glad to have you all back. I can't do this without you. I'll let you know when the website comes up. There probably might be some affiliate links on there. I'm not sure how far I want to go, but the primary focus is getting the listings up and see how well that does. So I might do some promotions on here, but this account has gotten to the point now where I am allowed to, the way that YouTube does stuff is you need 1,000 subscribers, I think, to be monetized, but at 700 or something like that, you can sell stuff through here if you have a site. So I don't know. It seems like a plausible thing to do. I don't know. I have too much stuff either way. So it'll be there, and that's it. So hope everyone's having a good fall. It's the middle of October already, and I got a lot of work to do between now and the 1st. So anyway, glad to see you back. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I have a pretty fantastic audience, and if you feel so inclined to comment, like, subscribe, I would really appreciate that. This is a small channel, and you know, it's always gonna be that way from my end. I think I'm not looking to like blow it up and have things professionally done. I'm just a guy in his garage, just, you know, doing what he likes. So I hope you like it too. I'm glad you're here, and let's get on with the meat and potatoes of it. All right, thanks again. See you in a second. All right, like I said earlier, let's start off with a few things that I've already restored this week that you may or may not have seen. First off, I have this Stanley Sweetheart number 282 scraper. I think this one was in my last video, but I cleaned up the wood so it was readable, and then of course the scraper blade is also a Sweetheart. See if I can get this off here easily. And yeah, so there we have that. And all in all, this thing's in beautiful shape. I'm gonna keep it and use it because I don't remember if I have one this style, but if I do, it's probably not in this good a shape. So one thing I've noticed on this one is they put a screw in it, or I don't know if that's factory, but on this one there is. And on another one I'm going to show you, they used a pin or a nail. So this one, and I actually don't know what number this one is. I haven't looked it up. There is a Sweetheart blade on that as well. And like I said before, it's got a pin in it. So this shaft is square and goes down in here, and then there's a hole that goes through that. But anyway, this one's got some kind of red coloring finish on the handle, but it was covered in paint, so a fair amount of it came off, but I think it looks pretty nice like this. So I just did a cleanup and de-rustification of that one. And then this one was interesting. I know this was in one of my videos, other videos. This is Stanley number 82. Let's see if I can get that. And I don't remember if the blade is a Sweetheart. I think it is. Excuse me, I'm not going to take this one off. But this one, this little collar here, ferrule, broke. It was a very thin piece of brass, and it broke where they kind of just indented in place, like this one. See if you can see that little indent, and then it has a little lip on it, but since it broke, I had to take this pin out. You can kind of see where I had to like kind of dig it a little bit, but I'm gonna clean that up a little bit more. But I machined a new brass ferrule for it, and I made a joke about that, about how I did $50 worth of machining on a $5 part for a $40 tool that I already have 3 of. So anyway, but this one's, I think, definitely nicer than the other one that I have. So I haven't decided which one I'm going to get rid of yet. I do have to do another little bit of machining to put a pin through here. They had used a nail before and had done a nice job because I didn't notice it until I started taking this apart. But anyway, just did a general cleanup and rust removal, and then made that ferrule, that collar on there. All in all, it's a pretty nice scraper. And then I don't know if you remember this one from one of my previous videos, but it was very rusty, and it is a EC Stearns. Let's see if you can see that, from Syracuse, New York. This top plate on here was painted black. There were some traces of black on the bottom, but this one loosens up by, and then it's got a pivot in there. It's pretty cool. It does not pivot as well as like the Starrett ones, which I have on soaking right now, but yeah, anyway, so, but these ones are kind of cool because the blade inside has 2 axes, so you can turn it, loosen it and turn it and use, and so like that's got kind of a, let's see if I can get that. That's got kind of a rounded corner, and some of the other ones are sharper. But I've seen people cut different shaping profiles in these before, although this one doesn't have many different profiles, but, or I don't even know if those corners are supposed to be rounded. That may just be dulling from the previous owner. Ooh. Put that back together, but tighten it up a little bit. Anyway, it's kind of cool scrapers for sure. And of course, as always, until I get a duplicate, I'll be keeping them. Next up, a couple of little other scrapers. I don't actually know what these are for. I assume like corners and getting in close somewhere, but this one had about a 1/4 inch of paint and varnish and all kinds of stuff on it. So I cleaned it up. I actually took this handle and put it on the lathe and sanded it a little bit and then just oiled it. I don't know if I might put like a darker finish on it. I'm not sure what kind of wood this is, but it's kind of a cool profile on the scraper. And then that number 3, don't know who made it. There's no marks in that front, but all in all, I thought this is a pretty nice little fun, I mean, not necessarily fun, but interesting tool. And then here's another one that was in one of my, I think this was in the big carpenter's chest that I did a 3-part on. Just cleaned it up. This nut on here was, the original one was trashed and it had no washer, so I put a new old stock brass one on there. Again, no markings that I can see. And these were all just cleaned up. The metal parts were just cleaned up in evaporust and I've been liking the finish that, like, after I soak in evaporust, everything kind of turns black or kind of an ashy gray. And then I just clean it off with Scotch-Brite pad and oil, and I just sort of leave it. It leaves a nice dark finish on there. Plus, it's less work. So, which you might be able to see a little more in these two adjustable wrenches. Little 6-inch Crescent tool, Jamestown, New York one. And the thing I don't like about redoing these is when you take the dynamic jaw off, they become sometimes a little bit loose feeling. Whereas, and I've noticed when you you take the grease and the swarf and all that stuff out of there, it really does that a lot. Like that grease and swarf actually kind of has some benefit to it, but and this one's the 6-inch better grip forged vanadium steel. J.P. Danielson, Jamestown, New York. There's a lot of similarities, but I think this one looks more, this better grip looks more like a Williams, but anyway, and if you can kind of see, the finish I was talking about earlier when is kind of a sort of satiny with highlights. Just kind of, I don't know, I like it. It feels good. And then when I put some like wax, like Bow Shield or whatever on there, it just has a really nice feel in the hand with that sort of raw-ish steel. And then the last thing I fixed up this week, oh, I'll show you another thing later, but were these Wiss shears, 5N tailoring shears. Monstrous. But they have this nut on them that, so tailors, when they have their work tables, they would just kind of set these down, pick them up, and then just, you know, but I just love how monstrously big these are, and they feel so nice, like ergonomically. Yeah, pretty happy about that. The little tip on them is, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. It feels very smooth though, so possibly, because they're more for cutting large sheets of fabric, not really, you know what I mean? But I don't know for sure. I have not seen another pair anywhere of the 5N? Yeah, 5N. I'd like to find a set with a brass nut, but I do have a smaller pair somewhere that has a brass washer at least. Anyway, that's it for the stuff I've cleaned up. I mean, I have cleaned up some hand planes and stuff too, and then there's another thing I'll show you in a minute, but it's rather large, so I'm gonna have to stop the camera and put that up here and that sort of, anyway. Next up is the stuff that I've recently acquired. So here's, first of all, let's see. This is a jeweler's saw. I picked it up because it had an interesting handle and it's not cracked. And then you've got these tightening nuts on here with the adjusters. It was just a couple bucks. So Maxon manufacturer. with a U.S. Patent Office stamp. Don't know if you can see all that, but is that FP Maxon? Anyway, some traces of black paint on there, and I neglected to clean the logo off of that one beforehand. I did, however, do that with some couple other things I got here. Oh yeah, this I meant to show last week or in my last video. I like these iron banks, and I collect Abraham Lincoln some stuff. Little piggy bank I can't get open, but it says Lincoln Trust and Savings Bank, Lincoln Avenue, Irvine Park Boulevard, Chicago. And it has like, I don't know if that's a copy of his signature or whatever, but appears to be actually bronze. So that's kind of a rare thing. Some of them are aluminum or pewter. But I thought that was kind of cool, and that'll go in my collection. And pardon me if I accidentally did, or if I did show that before. So next up, a full can of Singer sewing machine oil. I picked that up. An AGFA loop. Sometimes you got to get close to see how that. Anyway, I pick these up every once in a while. They're usually pretty cheap. So this one's just a older plastic one. This I picked up at like a, not Habitat for Humanity, but it's similar to that where I live, and it is a, what is that? Duff Machine Company, Lowell, Massachusetts. If you can see that, Duff Machine Company, Lowell, Massachusetts. It's a chain brace bit chuck, and I think how they were generally used is you would put this right up against a post and wrap the chain around the post tight and lock it in there, and it would stay parallel, and then you attach the brace here and drill through. So not really worth a whole lot, but I don't have one, and I have kind of a brace bit and sort of small collection, just if I find them interesting. So I'll clean this up and put that in there, and I don't know, probably eventually sell the whole thing as a set. But next up, I got two 7/8" plumb sockets, and these are monstrous. I got a 55/56 plumb, which is 1 3/4, and a 55/60 plumb, which is 1 7/8. I have to clean these up. I almost never see these. Finding two together is even more rare. I didn't pay a lot, but I paid more than, I don't know. But I have the ratcheting, the ratchet. I actually have 3 of the ratchets. I have a pebble one and then 2 that aren't pebble, but they are the same era from this. I gave one to my wife. And I don't know, it's just difficult to come across these, so these will go in my plum collection. glad to have them. I don't even know if I have duplicates of either of those sizes, but next up, let's start with the non-similar sockets. I got a 13/16. I don't remember if SK or Duro. I think there's kind of some overlap there, but made these. This is a, what is that, a 16 point, 12 point. And then a Black Hawk with their Spade logo, USA. And it's the same size, 13/16. Found these in the same spot. It was kind of odd, but, and then no other ones that go with the set or with, that pair up with either of those. Ugh. Really haven't had enough coffee today. And I'm gonna zoom in on these, or yeah. So next up, I got some Craftsman Circle H sockets, long C with the pointed A. This Circle H is very faint on this one, but not on this one. So this is a, what is this? Let me see here. 7/8, 1 inch, 1 inch, 7/8. Oh, here. 1 inch, 7/8, 13/16, 11/16, 5/8. I believe there's two of something. A 9/16. Yeah, there's two 1/2 inch. And a, what is that? 7/16. These are all the early, you know, 3/4 inch, but I did find these at Habitat for Humanity. So they were like, I think they were 50 cents a piece or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, but 8. One of them is a duplicate, so that's kind of nice. I think I have more than enough for a full set now. Next up, I got an actual toolbox. And this. It is a Kennedy Kits fishing tackle box. It's got a green leather handle on it in very nice shape. I'm gonna put some leather conditioner on there too to soften it up a little bit. See if I can prevent it from cracking or withering away. The paint job on it is nice on the bottom too, not much missing. Very nice olive drab crinkle paint on the outside, and the early gray pinstripe. I don't know if you can see that. I've got a couple other boxes from this era. See if I can get a close-up of the maybe I can use my loop. Corbin, see, that comes in handy. Corbin fixtures, latches, no key, unfortunately, but I think I might be able to get one from them. And then we have a, let's see if I can do this without. So it says Kennedy Bighorn line. Does not have a number on it. I did look up some of this size on eBay. Oh. It's got a cantilever top. The inside is pretty decent. There are a couple of, there's like a dent there and there, but I can fix those. And then it's got some oily schmutz in there, but closes straight. All in all, it's a pretty nice box, and it's a small size. It's one that I don't have already, so yeah. And now we're down to the last two items, so I'm going to pause this for a minute and set them up on the counter or on the table here, so hold on. All right, so I'm back with my last thing. This is actually don't know how long this is, a Duro Metal Products Company, Chicago, Illinois, wood lathe. I have had this sitting around for about a year, and it was completely rusted out, frozen on all the exposed metal. It's not a great lathe. It's just like a hobby lathe. I do need to find a tool rest for it. I have a bunch of them, but they're in storage, so I need to go find one. But yeah, I just cleaned it up, and this is loose. And I thought I'd use it for like making some, at least until I get the bigger wood lathe cleaned up and fixed. I thought I'd use it for making some handles, that kind of thing. But I needed to get it set up, and the castings on it are really rough in a couple spots. Like even on the bed, but it doesn't really affect the movement. You know, so it's probably not super accurate. Like I said, it's a little hobbyist lathe, but Duro and Destro, you know, mostly made mechanics tools. So I'm just actually really surprised that this thing even exists. Yeah, so next up is to build a bench for it. Let's see, how long is this usable? Hold on. What is that? 31. It's hard to do this one-handed. So altogether, it's about 38 inches usable. So I imagine they would calculate that as a 36 inch. But anyway, I have some other parts I need to test fit, make sure, like, you know, put a chuck on this end maybe, or a plate. I have a bunch of just random lathe parts I've been hoarding over the years. And last week I had to make a couple of wood parts on the south bend, and I didn't really like that wood dust getting in there, but so I was like, yeah, well, a dedicated wood lathe that I could use indoors that's small would be ideal to have. So I had one, and I just never had gotten around to it. So now it's ready to go. Well, almost. I actually need to set it up and tune it up and stuff, but anyway, that's it for this time. Last weekend, I didn't go to any sales, so I don't know what the future holds this winter, but I have plenty of ideas for other videos. So if there's nothing new on the horizon, I'll probably, you know, go down to one every 2 weeks or something like that for a little while. It just depends on what comes my way. So thanks for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.